All right, welcome back to the best sports Sunday show there is on YouTube, the Coach Steve Show.
At 10:46 a.m.
At
We
10:46
pick odd times to start.
Well, I never told him a time this time.
Well, that's good. That's good because sometimes we have to cleanse ourselves of our games.
Our sins.
Yeah. That happened earlier in the week.
Or the sins of others.
Yes. We pray for others.
Since this is Sunday and this is your daily church session, me, Coach West, and Brad usually talk about the sins of others. And then we get on to the show at 10 a.m. Central Time. Now it's 10:47 Central Time.
Yes.
But you guys got to realize, whoever listens, we're high school coaches and we both had a game yesterday.
Mountain time, it's only 9:47, so we're still on time. We're actually early.
All right, I'll take it. We're on time.
Yes.
Perfect. So, no Brad. He's ghosting us.
Brad. Yes.
Maybe he went back to New Orleans.
He might be on the LSU staff by this point. We don't even know. He might be the nutritionist at LSU.
If he did and he didn't tell us to get us into that locker room or in that organization, I'm going to kick his ass.
Just no. Forget the ass. Straight to the balls. Kick him right in the nuts.
I'm going to take each basketball, like each brand, and just throw it at him.
Adidas ball. You'll probably miss with that, though, if we're used to the Nike balls.
Yeah, it'd be a slight to the left.
Yes.
The Nike ball will get him right in the nuts, and then the Adidas ball will miss with. The Under Armour one will get him right in the face.
And the rock ball will probably deflate before he gets there.
Then what's the other one?
That's what it is the rock ball. Well, they use Spalding.
That's it. That's
in
that's
the
one.
In the tournament, they use Spalding.
Is that what the NBA uses too?
Yes, I believe so.
Not that I care about
Whereas
the NBA.
high schools all use Wilson.
High school uses Wilson or Spalding, I think, too.
You've seen some Spaldings?
Some Spaldings.
Did they have the UPC on the ball? I just said that really weird, but on the ball.
Hey,
like those are the good footballs when you get the UPC on them.
That's what happens in the suburbs. They have their own rules.
They get those rubber balls. The kicking game is out of this world.
They use those or the black top, like orange, or the black balls. That's only made for outdoors.
Yes, with the self-inflator pump.
Self-inflator pump, and man, that basketball court is just torn up at the end.
Yes.
But yeah, we need to shame Brad. Too bad he doesn't have Twitter.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Twitter.
I still tag it every time just in hopes that the phone still tells him that he's being tagged, because that's what it did to him at first.
Guarantee you it does.
I'm just going to make him one. I'm going to make him an account right now and be like, Brad, I own this account now, so you are out there.
We should make a not Brad Miller Twitter page.
And we'll call it the Raising Cane.
And we put the picture of him wearing the tinfoil hat as his profile picture.
Tinfoil hat, and it will be at Raising Cane. Not Canes, Raising Cane. I'm writing this down because I will probably do it.
And that's okay, Steve, because basically you own both me and him. It's your show. It's like the rights. Like we have to ask permission from you to use our own likeness. We need to get a contract drawn up. This is bullshit.
We need a contractor and we need a publicist before we say anything.
Yes. And that publicist could be a facetious person. It could be not Brad Miller.
And then when they tell us that we can't say this, I'm going to say, shut the fuck up. I'm going to say it anyway.
Not Brad Miller says we can.
Yeah, not Brad Miller at Raising Cane said I could say this.
Yes.
Or Dr. Chicken Strip. That could be the other name.
Yes.
No wonder why this is the slowest growing podcast. We're having this conversation.
Yes, but it's okay because dude, I tell you what, that thing that you joined, man, they get that word out. So we might have a listener or two drop in.
And I figured out how to make this go live on Twitter. So right now, this video is actually on Twitter right now.
Oh my
going live.
Oh, dear God. All right. So then we got to talk business, Steve. No more bullshit. Here we go.
Well, that's all Twitter is bullshit. So we should be able to.
That's true. It is COVID debates amongst a bunch of penny doctors. And nope, that's about all it is right now.
Or Ohio State fans. One of the two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I hate Ohio State.
Okay. But anyway, you never know. Brad might hop on. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So Illinois football, Steve.
So Nathan's our live reporter for the Illinois games.
Yes. I don't miss a game.
Before we talk bad about it, it looked like the student section was really full. You sent that picture, and I was like, that looks beautiful, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So student section, very full. They gave out like these little like foam eyes, and then the students, instead of the beer cup line, ended up doing a foam eye line. They like disassembled them, and they had them going all the way from like the band all the way up around like a horseshoe thing, and ended up trying to get it on the field, and the band people were like trying to escort it down, and then it fell apart. So that was pretty cool. I mean, they're at least trying to do something.
The beer snake, I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, but it was the glow stick snake thing. I don't know. Whatever,
so
dude.
Trying.
Yeah, they're trying to do cool things. They are primed for Pygmy Dart Show.
Again, we've said this a million times.
Keystone Light.
We know how to fix Illinois game day. That's not the issue.
Actually, Illinois is like, dude, they have so many advertisements for Dos Equis. And I'm like, since when did we get classy? This is our problem. We think that we're swanky. We're not those people. People that go to Illinois games, no. They do let's not act like we're what, Jim Miller or who the hell was that guy on Joe Dirt? Don't try and dress it up, Dirt. Don't try and dress it up, Illinois. We're not that.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before. They have to know their clientele. Their clientele is in Champaign, which there's some pinky up people. We all know this, but they're the ones that
they like donate money and don't even come to the games. Like, that's those people.
Right. You have to, your clientele is outside of Champaign with overalls and a straw hat. Like, those are the people you have to go after.
Yeah, because when you have a game on a Friday night and there's only like 20,000 people there, or maybe 15,000 people there, most of that being in the student section, you know that it's a small town fan base because they were all at football games, except for those who had to play on Saturday.
Again, I sort of lucked out because our game got moved to Saturday. I was like, I can watch the Illinois game, but like, that's the stupidest thing to do unless it's November.
Yeah. And yeah, I get it. You're trying to get on Fox and get a primetime game, but I don't like it because how many recruits are going to bail on their high school team to go to a visit? And then do you want that guy who's willing to bail on his team to go to a college visit?
Would you even schedule a high school guy to come that night?
Maybe if they had a Saturday game, but even then it's like, man, I don't really want to mess up your schedule because there's a lot of hustle and bustle that goes along.
Yeah, that's...
they do all that tours and stuff. Like,
because if the game's at 8 o'clock, you're probably there at 5, and they're probably going to like give you a tour, talk to you, do this, do that.
Do as much as they can within the recruiting restrictions, yeah. And I don't know what's happened, but I'm kind of over like not having pyrotechnics. I don't know who the hell dropped the ball there, or if that because of the embargo. But you're telling me we can come up with a rapid test in a freaking University of Illinois lab, but we don't know how to make our own freaking pyrotechnics because, like, when the team comes out and there's nothing to really like alert people, and it's just kind of boring. Like they used to have an orange and a blue firework that would like go off. That was kind of cool. That was picturesque. The band got pyro this past week.
Again, we need to be hired.
And they tried to do the stupid ass light show again, and we've already talked about that. And honest to God, so there was some people sitting around us that actually downloaded the app because I refused to download it because basically you give them permission to like take over your phone for this light show. Okay. And it literally just flashes a orange and blue eye, a black and white eye, and then a Coca-Cola sign. And I think it's subliminal messaging to get people to go buy Coke at the concession stand.
By God, it's not that hickory sandwich or whatever that
Hickory River. Me and my wife went there before the game because we're not walking into the East frickin' Concourse to go get Hickory River. Though we love their pulled pork nachos.
If they want to sponsor, go right ahead.
Yeah. If they want to sponsor, yeah. Make me want to eat those nachos because I don't even need an excuse to eat them things.
I'll eat them for breakfast. I will go there for breakfast.
Steve, there's a lot of times I get there at 10:30. Hickory River's there. I'm eating some pulled pork nachos. That's like brunch.
I haven't had Hickory River in like 8 years.
Yeah. Still the same place. Still good. They forgot my wife's fries and brought us both out free cobblers.
Now that's
gave
service.
us fries. Yeah. And gave us the fries. And it was like a double heaping of fries. She couldn't eat them all.
But we've been over this. We need to be hired for the game day experience for every single sport. I think we could handle every single sport. Football, most importantly, but we can handle it.
Yeah, because the product on the basketball court's kind of taking care of itself.
And it's more of a basketball school anyway.
Let's be honest. We just lose our identity when we lose good coaches. So for those of you trying to run Coach B off, suck an egg because this is going to take a little while because of Lovie Smith. It isn't a coincidence that Lovie and Loss both start with an L.
Well, that was the thing. That was the thing before we even talked about the game. I've already seen like fire. I don't know if I've seen any firing of Bielema, but they're like not happy. And then I've seen fire Tony Peterson, the offensive coordinator. And I'm not happy with the offense, but I'm not at that point where you're like fire him. Like that's a bit extreme. Yeah. Now I'm not happy with the offense, but I think we talked last time. We just don't have the O-line is doing what it can. I think if you had this O-line and we just had a competent quarterback and had
we didn't have Doug Kramer.
Didn't have Doug. Yeah.
That hurt.
But people are talking about the O-line already. I'm like, that's the strength of it right now. But like when a defense knows that's all you have is an offensive line, they're going to blitz. They're going to stack the box. If you don't have a wide receiver to throw it to besides Williams, like Isaiah Williams, like that's it. That's all you're going to throw it to. It's easy to play defense.
Let's be honest. Our offensive line is a bunch of super duper seniors, is what I guess I would call them. They ain't getting the job done. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to take another super duper senior and Brandon Peters, who's kind of like Nick Foles. I'm sure in the right situation, he could probably win. But Illinois is not the situation for him, just like the Chicago Bears was not the situation for Nick Foles. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like Brandon Peters is a freaking statue. He has arm talent, but ever since he got hurt in like 2019, he ain't been the same. He sucks. At least the freaking dude from Rutgers has a little bit more eligibility left. Like, because honestly, with that game call script, like I wish that Sid would have actually had a chance to throw on first down a couple of times because that opened up our offense when we did that with him. He's a little bit more mobile. He's not crazy mobile. He's a little bit more mobile to make shit right. The only time Peters took off was when there was no one within 30 yards. Like, the dude rushed way too far upfield, and our tackle just right upfield they went. And then he took off, and there was nobody within 30 yards, and he only got like 12. Like, he's slow. And honestly, I think he's trying to protect himself because he thinks that he is the bona fide starter. So he's doing shit. Like, he's not putting it all out there, in my opinion. Like, and he could have rust because he was out last week. And really didn't get, actually, he's been out since week 1. Peters has. Mm-hmm. So it could be a rust factor. But I'm going to be honest, going to the Illinois game, we got that freshman running back. He's pretty damn good, but he went out with an injury. The big 240-pound kid. That dude's a horse. And Isaiah Williams. And those are like your only Division I guys that can perform at a Big Ten level. I'll just be honest. I don't know where everybody sees the talent. There's other beat writers who are like, this team's too talented, and people – you're living in a freaking, I don't know what you're living in, a utopia where unicorns shoot rainbows out their ass. I don't know. But Luke Ford's been a disappointment. The other tight end's decent, but I wouldn't say he's like, Big Ten amazing. And maybe we're just using them right, but
I think some of the beat writers, like we all jumped on the Bielema bandwagon. I think that's what they were doing, but then they're like, how do I put this? They want them to, what they're writing is what they want Illinois to be, which is what they will be probably 3 or 4 years. It's going to take a while. I mean, Illinois was picked last, I think, in the Big Ten, or second to last.
Yep.
By people outside of Champaign.
From a national perspective, yes.
Now, what frustrates me, and I've said it before, is I want the film on the Nebraska game and watch Illinois offense because it looks completely different. Even with Statowski in there.
Yeah.
Like, it looked completely different from Nebraska to UTSA to Virginia then to Maryland. Completely different. And I don't know why it's changed from the second half of Nebraska to now. What changed so much?
Let's just go ahead and be honest. We have not had a winning season since Ron Zook in 2011.
Which, shout out to Ron Zook, he was on Maryland's sideline. The camera showed him. And I completely forgot he went there. He is their special teams coach and outside linebackers coach.
Yep.
I forgot Loxley was his offensive coordinator when he got there.
And now the roles have kind of switched. But let's you know what? Let's go clear back to the year 2000. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4. We've had 4 winning seasons in 21 years. 4 winning seasons in 21 years. 4. If that doesn't scream losing culture, I don't know what does.
And then they expect Bielema to get it done right now.
Like, we had hopes, and honestly, like, he flat out said it, because you probably don't get the radio show up there, but he was like, we got to learn how to win games. And honestly, everybody's all pissed off at him about not going for it on 4th and 1. I'm sorry. Offensive line was shit. Why the hell would I go for it on 4th and 1 when my offensive line couldn't stop anything?
Well, the whole offense, like your whole offense is struggling. It's one thing to be like, oh, this part of our offense is working. On 4th and 1, let's do it. Let's go for it.
What was interesting was, so remember when wide zone was really good against Nebraska, right? We started like hitting that really well. Inside zone was hitting pretty well against and I was surprised we didn't do more of that. We were like A-gap to A-gap, but it was really good. Like it looked good A gap to A gap. And I think it's because we run so much wide zone.
Yeah, they complement each other very well. If you run a shit ton of inside zone and then all of a sudden you go wide, it just opens it up. You run a lot of wide zone. But someone told me when he was at App State, his wide zone has inside zone rules, so he runs it a little different. Oh, there's a ghost. Your door just opened.
No, it's my stupid ass boy dog. And then there's my girl dog.
Like we have a camera set up in here at the doors just in case, and my phone will alert me. So when it says there's motion, now 98% of the time it's the dog just walking through. But the times where there's nothing there and there's a motion, I'm like, it's haunted. It's freaking haunted.
I'm done with this.
I had it plugged in at night one time going to bed, and it did that. And so it looks black and white, I'm just waiting for something to pop up on my phone, and it said motion. And I was like, it's haunted. We got to move. It's time to go.
And I'm out. And they've raised our rent like 17 fucking times.
Yeah, they raised the rent 25, 30%, and it's haunted.
Yeah. Fuck that. That sounds like a horror movie.
It looks like it off the camera version when you're looking on your phone.
Yeah.
That black and white thing, like on the movies. Then I thought about that documentary you told me and Brad about where the person's head twisted around. I was like, we got to go. Like, my first thought was, we got to go.
Mm-hmm. Hold on here, Steve. I will be right back. So you go on a tangent about Illinois.
Illinois fans need to calm their shit, saying we need to fire all these coaches because we don't need to fire all these coaches. I don't trust Illinois fans were these basketball fans. These basketball fans that came on and said that we need to fire Coach Underwood when we were struggling a little bit or losing some games. Those are not the fans to listen to. We have, like, Illinois needs to stay the course. Don't fire Bielema. Don't fire Peterson. And you're back.
Stupid and draw stupid conclusions from a short ass time frame. Like in 4 games, we're willing to just throw a dude away after 20 years. We've just, oh yeah, Levy's going to get it done this year. Let's see how many winning seasons Levy Smith had. 2016 loser, 2017 loser, 2018 loser, 2019 loser, 2020 loser. Woo!
Well, look, Levy Smith's best record
here.
Now, was it 2019?
Is Illinois the Vanderbilt of fucking the Big Ten?
Is it us or Purdue? Has Purdue been better? Or Indiana?
Let's go ahead and look that up.
You look up Purdue, I'll look up Indiana.
Yeah. Good by me. Okay, since the year 2001. Do 500s count?
I mean, let's do losing seasons and say when they were 500 because what sucks is
that's a lot. That's a lot for Purdue.
A lot of,
like, they have a few. They have way more than Illinois because Illinois hadn't been 500. Okay, so we'll just do just winning seasons.
Okay.
So they have to be above 500.
Indiana has had 3.
Purdue's had 7.
Oh, God.
And that's not counting the 500 seasons.
Yeah, Indiana doesn't even have a 500 season.
Purdue has been to 11 bowl games, and we've been to 6. So they've doubled us on bowl appearances in the last 20 years.
Indiana has been.
Yes, we are. 5. No, we're like, Steve, I think we're like Arkansas. But Arkansas is good now, so we can't be Arkansas. We are like.
Are we like Kentucky?
We are like Kentucky.
So we're the So we have the Vanderbilt academics, but the Kentucky history, I guess, besides basketball.
Looks like a Kentucky football record.
Indiana has been to 5 bowl games since 2000 and has lost every one of them.
Oh, no, never mind. Fucking Kentucky. Jesus Christ. They've been to 10 bowl games in the last. Nope, we're worse than Kentucky. Try again.
Let's just look at Vanderbilt football history.
How many bowl games have been to in the last 20 years?
Since 2000.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. 3 winning seasons. They've been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowl games since 2000. And
so we're shittier than Vanderbilt in the SEC is what we're saying.
Now, Vanderbilt has 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 seasons, so they lost their bowl game.
Yeah, Illinois doesn't even have that.
The best record Vanderbilt has had since 2000 was in 2012 and 13. They went 9-4 both years under James Franklin.
Yep. We don't even have.
Derek Mason, even Derek Mason took them to 2 bowl games and they went 6-7.
I think Illinois' worst team in the Big Ten in the last 20 years. Well, there's some truth for you.
So for Illinois fans, oh, well, you weren't here yet last Sunday when I went off on the Ohio State fans with my interactions.
Oh, damn it, Steve. Let's not give Ohio State people any more attention than what they need because, let's be honest, they cry for attention through.
And then after that, like a day or two later, somebody hopped on. He's a big Louisville basketball fan. Said Illinois basketball sucks too. He commented on there, and I said, "Who won the Big Ten?" Then he wanted to talk about the history, and I said, "Hey, you're a Louisville fan, right?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Go buy some more hookers for your basketball team."
Yeah,
at least we don't do that.
If we could hire the Silver Bullet girls, we still wouldn't have a good basketball team, but at least we'd be like Louisville.
And then he said I was clueless on something, and then that's where I said, "You make it too personal," and I was just done, so I blocked him. I was just done. I've known him for years, and I was done. I was like, I'm over. I don't care if I've known you for years. If you want to be shitty, we're done.
Yeah. So Illinois, people need to come.
It's those basketball fans. Remember all the Illinois basketball fans that wanted to fire him for Brad Underwood when we were struggling? Those 3 to 5 games.
Yeah, early in the season, we were playing good teams.
Yeah, ever since we played Baylor, and I was like, well, Baylor just won the national title, so there's a reason why. Yeah. So I think it's those type of fans. I think it's fans that want Illinois to be good so bad that when it's not going on. How long did it take Ron Zook to kind of almost turn a corner?
Yeah, so he actually had a couple of bad years. So he took over. His 3rd year, he went to the Rose Bowl. Okay, so that was when we had Juice. It was his 3rd year. Martez Wilson's 3rd year. That big recruiting class, and then we went 5-7 after that. Then we went 3-9, but then we went back-to-back bowl games, so it was serviceable, and won those bowl games. And then we fired him.
And then the Tim Beckman era started.
2-10, 4-8, 6-7, lost the Heart of Dallas Bowl. Beckman was only here for 3 years. God, that seemed like an eternity.
Then he got fired.
You know who was here for a long time? Lovie Smith. Dude never won. Dude was never better than 500 and got 5 years, 6 years. His 5th year, he didn't coach the last game because it says Rod Smith was 0-1.
So the last time we were really, really good apparently was Ron Turner in 2001.
No, he went to the Sugar Bowl. Well, we were 10-2. Well, let's talk about Ron Turner's first. Well, no, you know what? Ron Turner
went 0-11.
Fuck.
In 1997.
3-8. Ron Turner only had 2 winning seasons.
Then he did his magic on the Bears.
Tepper. Lou Tepper had 2 winning seasons. Makovic, 3 winning seasons out of 4. There we go. There's somebody. We have to go to Makovic, Steve. You weren't even born. 88, 89, and 90. Wow. We were terrible.
Yeah, so it's going to take a while, but who knew that Ron Zook was like the guy?
Yeah. And our field's named after a guy that I think has a 500 winning percentage. That tells you how shitty our football is.
When did we win the national title? In like the 40s?
Well, I'm clear back to 1913 to try and find somebody who had a winning overall record.
Yeah, so basically
Illinois fans need to chill out. It's going to take a hot minute. And there is a little bit of talent, but I stress a little bit. You've got Isaiah Williams. You have, I have to look up that kid's name, like McCray.
Oh, yeah. Brad actually texted it to us, I think.
Let me look at
McCray.
He's number 0. Yeah, Josh McCray. He's a good running back. He's a very good running back. But other than that, we don't have.
Watching the game, I thought the defense played better. But then when you look at the stats, you're like, oh. But you held Maryland to 20 points.
Let's be honest, in college football, if you hold somebody below 20, you've got a pretty good shot at winning.
I mean, we gave up
20 or below. I feel like it's like that number because that's like 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals or a missed extra point and 3 scores. Mm-hmm. That's not bad for a terrible defense. I mean, or like a defense that's like going from cover 2 to man-to-man.
We let him throw for 350 yards, which is a lot, but he only threw 1 touchdown.
Yes. And he's the most efficient passer with a clean pocket in the NCAA, according to Pro Football Focus.
Then there's Brandon Peters, throws for 185.
Yep. Honestly, I thought the defense held up to their end of the deal because if the offense would have scored at all, the momentum, like, we just went very anemic at the wrong times. And then we had the McCray kid rushing very well, and then he got hurt. And that hurt us because then Chase Brown went out of the game too. So we were without our first 2 running backs on the depth chart.
So yeah, defense did its part. And like I said, watching it, I was like, oh, the defense, they give up some plays, but I'm like, Alabama's going to do that. Clemson's going to do that. So I'm not too worried about it. So it looked like they cleaned it up.
Right.
Offense is very stagnant again. It's looking like was his name Rod Smith?
Yeah.
It's looking like that all over again.
Yeah.
And Tony Peterson's way better than that. If you watched any App State games over the last few years, he does the same formations, the same stuff, but like he opens it up more. So I think now you're at a point. I mean, where are we 1-3?
Yeah, number 1.
Open it up.
Yeah. But you're going to open it up with a below average quarterback. I want to say props to this because nobody probably notices this, but like football coaches. But when we picked up that fumble and scored a touchdown, Casey Washington, kudos to you for stock blocking like a son of a bitch and getting that play to pop. And then you got rewarded because our dude fumbled it, and then you picked it up and ran it in for a score. Maybe not the way we wanted to score, but I thought that was him being rewarded like the football god saying like, buddy, you just did the most selfless thing out here on the perimeter. And here you go. Here's your little nugget. Because I was very impressed, and I know he'd never see this, but I thought, honestly, that was great effort, in my opinion. Like, I love good receiver stock blocking. Because those are the blocks, you as well as I know, when the receiver gets a good block, that play can go for 20 plus.
And then you'll get
for a touchdown.
Then you'll get the ball thrown to you if you block.
Yeah. So I hope that does get recognized because that effort that was really good. And I think our guys are playing hard, but you can play hard and still not be very good. Right.
And going into the season, I think we were all thinking we could get to 500, and now I don't know because like now we got Purdue, which we have a shot, but Purdue's not that bad. They must beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame's terrible though.
They are, but they need
to lose so we don't let them eke into the college football playoff. Can that like happen? Can we find somebody to beat them?
Oh, they're going to lose to somebody.
God, I hope.
We need them to lose. We need them to lose, and we need
Ohio State to lose another one.
And we need Oklahoma.
Yeah, because they barely won yesterday.
I can't stand Oklahoma.
I hate Spencer Rattler from QB1.
Hold on, before I move, I'm trying to find Notre Dame's schedule because they will. They're going to lose somewhere.
They play Clemson again?
They play Wisconsin on the 25th. I think Cincinnati.
Oh, they play Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We could see Notre Dame fall pretty far here.
They could lose to them. They could maybe lose to USC.
They don't play Clemson this year. How'd they luck out of that?
Good, probably because they played them last year.
Yeah. So they got Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech, USC, North Carolina. That is a tough stretch.
Yeah, they'll lose somewhere.
Yeah. Because I know USC isn't doing so hot, but at the same time, like, that's a big rivalry. Ever since the Bush push, like, everybody watches that game.
And Clemson almost lost yesterday to Georgia Tech.
It's going to be a weird season, I think.
So I think we're done with Illinois. I think we just have to stay this course of. But like
people need to stop. Like, we got all excited, right? We got all excited because everything looked great. And I think now we're coming back down to reality of it's going to take a little while. We don't have elite people. We only have a few competent people. And it's just when you have guys who are second-year NFL age and they still can't get it done on the field, you're probably not very good.
I still take the blame because our best podcast was after the Nebraska game. We had no BS. We were down to business. We had a good church session beforehand, and then now it's been.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, like, wide zone's been there against some teams. Like I said, inside zone was great, but Chase Brown and McCray, there are only two, like, inside the tackle guys. The rest of those guys are kind of like, they're not scat backs, but they're not inside zone runners. They're not like, they don't have as good a vision I mean, there's a reason that like the third, fourth, fifth running backs. Norwood had a couple of little bright spots, but yeah.
We just need to stick to what works. Don't be afraid to call it over and over, and then play action off of it, RPO off of it. And if Brandon Peters can't get it done, then fuck him. Put in Statowski again.
Yeah, and I think we need to do that. Like, I think that has to happen. Like, either that or Peters can start the next game, and then Peters has a very short leash. Peters has a short leash. Then okay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it needs to only be about 2 feet right now as we're speaking. Like, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Then I think Bielema now realizes, I got to recruit a quarterback. I got to get a quarterback.
Yeah. And you need to be, yeah. I don't know. Does Illinois have any, like, you know, we had the McCarthy kid last year from Illinois who went to IMG, but he was from Illinois. We know that. Do you got any big, like, recruits up there in the burbs, like QB wise?
I'm sure, like, Loyola probably has a quarterback. They're pretty good. Because they beat Brother Rice, I think.
Yeah, by like 2. It was a close game.
And he needs to start looking at Rochester.
Yeah. I think it would be nice to get a homegrown quarterback that is from a winning culture. You know what I mean?
Well, like, there was a quarterback at Rochester. He's playing at SIU now, Nick Baker.
Yeah.
Statistically, he was better than all the other quarterbacks that won a state title with Derek.
Well, we did have Wes Lunt.
He was better than Wes Lunt statistically, though, at high school.
No shit.
And now he's at SIU. He got hurt last year. Now he's back, and he's pretty good. He didn't throw an interception until like the 3rd playoff game.
They got a good coach too. Nick Hill's a really good coach.
Nick Hill's a really good coach. I think Derek.
I watched him play in high school.
Oh, really?
At DuQuoin. Yeah. They played Monticello.
Who?
DuQuoin.
Oh, Nick
Hill was in high school. Yeah. I think it was my sophomore year. Went over to Monticello and watched him play Monticello. And DuQuoin, like, I was like, who in the hell is this guy?
I emailed him to be on the podcast.
And then he went to Western Kentucky to play basketball. And then the Western Kentucky basketball coach left, went to SIU as a quarterback, became that conference's player of the year after being a basketball player for like 2 years, then went to SIU, and now he's the head coach there and having success.
And they love him there. They absolutely love him.
Well, he's a Southern Illinois boy. DuQuoin's Southern Illinois.
You ever been to Centralia?
Mm-mm. Oh, is that where the Superman stuff is?
I think so. We played them when I was coaching at Charleston. We were talking about mascot names. This is way off topic because Centralia is, you pass Centralia going to DuQuoin.
Yeah.
They're the Orphans.
Yes.
And some coach goes, are they really called the Orphans?
Yes.
And I said, yes. When I was coaching at Charleston, they had a quarterback that was like 215 pounds and not a bad 215 and could just truck people. And he had a cannon of an arm. They came out in the Maryland Eye on us one play. And then the next play, they go to empty. It was like playing Tim Tebow is what it was.
Fair enough.
Was
you want to talk about bad high school nicknames, though, before we stray too far off topic? What about Pekin's original mascot?
Are they the Dragons right now?
They're the Dragons now, but what were they before that?
I have no idea.
They were the Chinks.
Oh my God.
They had a little like Chinese looking guy mascot. And if you look at their dragon, isn't it a very like Asianish dragon?
Now, why would you go and do that?
Because Pekin's a very racist town.
Okay.
Just being honest, that's what I heard. I can't remember who the hell told me that, but yeah, they were the Pekin Chinks, which is just crazy. And like, good thing they changed their name because I could only imagine what they were going to have to deal with like nowadays. But yeah.
So note to self: never coach in Pekin, Illinois.
Never coach in Pekin, Illinois. Yeah, pass on that. Hard pass or easy pass. That's an easy pass. It's not even a hard pass.
Even if they offer me like $100,000 a year, be like, oh, I'm gonna have to rethink this decision.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I think Illinois needs to like just temper their expectations. We got to weather the storm. It ain't like we've had what five? Did I say 5 winning seasons?
Yeah, it's not good.
5 winning seasons in 20 years, like,
and they all came with Ron Zook.
Yeah, well, Ron Turner had 1.
And then what? Lovie Smith's best record was 6-6. Went to a bowl game, lost, and went 6-7.
Yes, so that doesn't count.
The Red Box Bowl, where you get your beer, a movie, and watch Illinois lose to Cal.
You get a free DVD because at that time Blu-rays were the big thing, so they were trying to off their stock, use it as a tax write-off.
Here's our VHSs and DVDs. You can't touch the Blu-rays. We still have.
No, they got cassette tapes of like Aladdin or something like stupid.
Here's the original cassette version of The Lion King.
Yeah. So other than that, in college football, I think, okay, so just looking at it, I think Florida's eventually going to get Alabama. They had a hell of a showing last year. It was in the SEC championship. They didn't have Tony, they didn't have Pitts, and they lost by like a touchdown.
Kyle Trask put up some big numbers.
Yes, without those two guys. So I personally think like Florida is on the upswing. Those people just got to be a little bit patient. Don't be like Auburn and get rid of Gus Malzahn. Stay the course. It'll all be fine. A close loss to Alabama. Alabama is still a really damn good team. And I think Nick Saban right now, he keeps alluding to like, we got to be focused. We're letting all the talk get to us. And he keeps saying that. I think he's having like, we've got some kids who are coming in being told how good they are. And they're not really fully bought. They're talented enough to win, but they're not fully bought into the Saban way, if that makes sense.
And maybe some of the NIL thing is maybe a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to give you $1 million because you're at Alabama. This is how good you are. And now he's got to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides Bryce Young, because he had 3 passing touchdowns. I think he might be the only, because he's made a lot of money already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think he might be the only one that's like, everybody else though around him is probably like, I'm this good because this business is giving me money. I'm going to go sign autographs. And they talked about this already. They said that's what they were afraid of with this. But you have to make money off your name.
Well, but you've got kids that are now having to become professionals, right?
At 18, 19 years old.
Exactly. So you get an 18-year-old kid that's a highly touted dude, comes into Alabama, and there's like no transition into the Alabama way. It's as a freshman, I'm looking at being starting. I'm making $500,000 off all these endorsement deals. And there's no adaptation to happen before that money gets there. Like, I almost feel like the NCAA should like look at that and be like, for football, you can't do NIL stuff like your freshman year. That might be something, even though that's going to screw up a lot of things. But with football, you got to stay 3 years anyways. So you're still going to have 2 years of NIL stuff. Well, basketball would be totally different.
Now, like in the NFL, I think they have like a course when they first get in there of like, this is how press conference is going to go. This is how the money's going to go. Do colleges or the NCAA need to start hiring people like that for like, hey, at Alabama, here is a financial advisor. Here's a publicist.
Well, I could see them being like, "Hey, we're gonna have an athlete-only class, and it's image, and it goes over digital image, like not just what you look like on Twitter, on Facebook, on all that stuff, how you look on everything else." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But if there's a
and I
coach,
guarantee you Alabama's doing it because they brought in Alex Rodriguez to talk to the team, and I bet you it wasn't like, "Hey, I'm some great baseball player." It was probably, "Hey, I'm Alex Rodriguez. I had a very successful career. I was the first $250 million player in the Major League Baseball rankings. And now I'm on ESPN Baseball Tonight, and this is how I have grown my Alex Rodriguez brand, not just being a player."
and I dated Jennifer Lopez.
He did do that.
And then lost her to Ben Affleck.
Again. Yeah. So there's a lot going on there. I just need Notre Dame to lose, so I don't want to see them in the college football playoff.
I still don't see anybody beating Alabama.
No, but that SEC championship game with Georgia, if Georgia can stay unblemished,
yeah, I think it's those two.
I think it'll be really interesting. And if it's a close game, they both might make the playoff.
Because I think before you jumped on this podcast to be a consistent member, me and Brad talked about Georgia, and Brad even said, like, he said, when is Georgia just going to open up the playbook and quit doing this offense that's just not working? Your defense, you always had figured out. And if you watch Georgia, they still do their under center power eye stuff. They're now doing that stuff out of a gun thing because of who their quarterback is. If they get that going with their defense, they're not going to beat Alabama, but it's going to be a 31-29 game like Florida.
It's kind of like Iowa, right? Like Iowa it's a slow chemical death when you play Iowa because they have great defense. They just beat the hell out of you up front. And now all of a sudden they've got an offense that can score 40 points a game, and it's like, oh, we still got the slow death on our side of the offensive side of the ball. But Iowa can now put up points.
I hope it's Ohio State and Iowa and the Big Ten, and Iowa just
trounces their
beats
ass.
them to sleep.
Yeah.
I hate Iowa basketball, but I've always respected Iowa football.
Yeah, because of their pink locker rooms.
I cannot stand Iowa basketball. That coach is a douche.
Yeah. And his son's a douche. And every player on their team is a douche.
But that Iowa football program I respect.
Yeah. Because they have a lot of Illinois guys on that program. A lot of kids from Illinois.
A lot of linemen and fullbacks from Illinois is what's happening. And I think Bielema will get them to Illinois. But yeah. Before
I like that we're having a little recruiting rivalry with them.
Right. But who would be in the SEC championship game? Alabama and Georgia, or Alabama and Florida again?
Alabama, Georgia.
Because they're not going to play before that, right?
Nope.
That's going to be a game.
Oh, that's going to be you just come down here, Steve, and you can stay in the guest room. And I'm excited to have that's going to be a hell of a game.
What was I going to say? And they'll both probably make the playoff. If that's Georgia's only loss.
And it's close. Now it can't be as if it goes the way we think it's going to go. But here's the deal. You have Clemson already lost, right? Yeah, they already lost.
They lost to Georgia.
But if you have so they would go in over Clemson. But if you have Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Alabama, that 4 spot's up for grabs, and right now it'd be Georgia because they're in over Clemson, in my opinion. I mean, they embarrassed Clemson. Clemson couldn't do anything.
Oh, against Georgia? No, and they almost lost to Georgia Tech.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. It's kind of weird.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Georgia Tech ever since they made Paul Johnson leave.
Yeah.
Even though he ran the triple option, like again, if you want to go back and look at winning seasons, Paul Johnson won at Georgia Tech. And now you bring in this guy. I think it's a curse. I think they could be really good, but it was when that spring game came out and he went into that triple option formation, then the coach said split, and they split into a spread, and everybody cheered. I was like, now this is karma.
Yes.
They claim it was respecting Paul Johnson, and I said, no, I take that as a slap in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially because you got a reaction out of it, right?
Right. You know, like the fans cheered and stuff. And now maybe as a coach, maybe they were like, we're going to respect Paul Johnson. But to respect him, you might as well just run a play out of it.
Run a play out of it. Yes. I agree with that. How hard is it to run like a fullback belly or a fullback dive?
Fullback dive, or just do freaking inside zone read to make it look like it.
Yeah.
That would have been respectful. Like maybe the first play or two, you run a play out of that, and then the next play you're in your 2x2, 3x1, and just go.
Yeah.
And maybe the coach thought this is respecting him, but the fans cheered and nobody was like, shut up. You know, like as a coach, you could have tried and be like, shut up.
Yeah.
Or don't do it at all. Don't even touch it.
Yeah. Just have a clean break.
But yeah, that's my little rant on that. But Clemson's not looking good. Oklahoma might slip up.
Oklahoma is going to slip up, and it's probably going to be Iowa State. Even though Iowa State isn't great, Campbell will have them playing good by the time they play Oklahoma.
It's either going to be Iowa State or Kansas State, because for some reason Kansas State always is
the thorn in their side.
The last 2 years, it's been that way.
Yeah.
With Jalen Hurts and Spencer Rattler.
It will also be interesting to see Steve Sarkisian in his first Red River shootout.
I have a feeling, though, they won't win against Oklahoma.
No, but at the same time, like, that's going to be where you know if Sarkisian's going to pan out and they have a decent showing for being a new coach, right, with no recruits or anything. Or if they get blown out embarrassed, it's like, well, is he going back to the booze?
He may already be back on the booze from losing to – who did they lose to last week?
I don't even know. They lost to somebody. I was like, thank you.
Because me and Brad talked about it. Brad even said, he goes, you have to think he goes back on the booze. And I said, if you looked at him on camera last week, he was hot and sweaty. I think he did at halftime.
He did a bottle of Fireball.
That's what I said. He had some shooters in his pocket.
Sliding them down the polo.
He was going to the trainer's tent.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, other than that, I didn't get a chance to watch too much college football. Like, because we had a game yesterday and it seemed like an hour-long third quarter. It was just wild.
Now I'm curious I'm going to find out. It's on the tip of my tongue. Who'd they lose to? Arkansas. Like, what the hell? Why did I not think of that?
Arkansas is ranked.
Arkansas is good. I love Coach Pittman.
Okay.
He was born to coach. He was the O-line coach at Georgia before he took this job. And I think he coached at Arkansas beforehand. I can't remember. He was born to coach O-line, and he was born to be the head coach at Arkansas. The way he acts.
Yeah. Kind of like how Coach Orgeron is with LSU.
Pittman kind of reminds me of Bielema, too. Like, he's going to say what he wants. He wants to punch people in the mouth, and he wants to be more physical than you. And right now, Arkansas just has more dudes than Illinois, but like that's who he reminds me of. Like, and then like you said, Ed was born to coach LSU, even though I feel like if he loses a game or two, he may not be there anymore.
Yeah, I hope they need to really think about that.
I think so too, but I'm also not a fan of firing a coach week 2. The USC coach was terrible. I just don't like firing people week 2.
I mean, the dude was 1-1. Like, oh, so you think? And he got drudged in the second week, but dude, like, let the guy finish the season.
Well, that was my next thing was you fire him week 2. You already knew going into the season, like you want him fired. You might as well have just done it after the season.
Because here's the deal. You're paying him $12 million, whether he's coaching or not. He got a $12 million buyout, Steve.
Well, kind of like Notre Dame's still paying what's his face.
Charlie Weiss.
I think they're still paying him. Gus is still getting paid by Auburn.
That's crazy, dude.
These college football coaches, agents are the best agents on the planet.
Yeah. Well, and college football is so quick to like turn on you. Right? Like it's like, oh, year 2. Well, you know what? We didn't see any improvements. We're going to cut you loose, even though you took over an over program.
And then when we go to hire somebody, we're going to hire a hiring committee, and they're going to make the decision for us instead of the athletic director doing it by himself or the president doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That coach Jason Brown off the Last Chance U, he has the perfect saying. He goes, when these people have a hiring committee, these athletic directors and presidents have PhDs. They're doctors and they're idiots when they do this. They have PhDs.
Yeah.
So I think they should have fired him after the season. But when you fire somebody week 2, you already knew you wanted to fire him and you already have somebody in mind of who you're going to get. Like you've already talked about it. And I think it's going to be Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer said before if he was going to come back to college coaching, it was Notre Dame or USC.
Shit.
So Urban Meyer's going to be one and done in the NFL.
That is interesting.
Now, people are saying that that's ridiculous because of whatever. But the rumor is James Franklin might leave Penn State and go. I think he has a good thing going at Penn State.
Yeah. And Penn State's a blue blood of the Big Ten. Like, he would be silly.
Yeah, I don't know if Urban Meyer will even go.
Illinois over the last 10 years is 20-64 in Big Ten play.
I mean,
we are 46-78 overall.
Since 2000?
Yes.
And these Illinois fans want our coaches fired after week 3?
Yes.
These are the fans.
And here's the deal. They would probably be worse than Rutgers and Maryland, but they joined in 2014.
Rutgers is 3-0.
Yeah. Yeah. We are definitely we are by the number the worst team in the Big Ten. And we're like all pissed off that we're 1-3. We should be used to that shit. Right? Like,
well, like I said before in the very first one we did after Nebraska, I said I'm ready to get hurt again. So I've opened it up to be hurt.
Oh, and we're getting hurt, Steve.
Because we got Purdue and Charlotte. If we don't beat Charlotte, we won't win a game.
Yeah.
We might be 1-11.
What the heck is happening here? Yeah.
We've lost 70-some games since 2000. I don't think Nick Saban has lost 70 games total his whole life. Even as an assistant, I don't know if you could add that.
That's being a player in high school, probably including.
And he's coached at like 12 different colleges, and I'm sure he has not lost that many games. But those are the Illinois fans that I'm trying to make fun of them. Those are the Illinois fans that go to the Bullet for a burger. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Those are the ones who go for the vacation.
Those are the ones that go to Casey's and not buy a breakfast pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Or those are those Illinois fans that go to Starbucks. I don't trust them.
What sucks is it's hard to... Dude, there's a lot of freaking shit. Did you know Chicago was in the Big Ten? The University of Chicago?
Yeah, way back in the day. They're one of the original.
When Illinois was really good.
Oh, that explains it. We were being a Division III team. Now it's all coming together.
Yeah. And actually, Chicago in the conference was 54% winning percentage, which would put them above Wisconsin.
Really?
They were 120 and 99. Wisconsin is 387 and 382.
Well, maybe they should come back.
Yeah. Illinois is 350 and 445. We are a sub 500 football program, yet we expect, I don't know. Our overall winning percentage is 497. No bullshit.
We're so close to that 500.
Since 1896. 126 years.
And we want to fire Bielema and Tony Peterson after week 3 of their first year.
Yes.
But those are the guys I want to fire Brad Underwood for winning the Big Ten.
Yes.
Those are the people that don't know where tomatoes come from.
Yeah, Purdue has a winning record in bowl games. Dude, Michigan has a shitty record in bowl games.
They do.
Let's look at this. Rutgers is 100% in bowl games.
Where were they before the Big Ten? The Big East?
Yeah. Penn State, number 2. That's from 93 to 2021. Wisconsin's 53%, Iowa 53%, Purdue 52%, Ohio State 49%. They're 26 and 27. Michigan State 46%, Michigan 43%, Minnesota 42%, Illinois 42%. Minnesota might as well be 43. They're 429.
So we're the worst bowl game percentage?
One of the worst, yeah. We're in the bottom 4, 5. So, yep, we just need to temper our stuff.
These are the people that go to McDonald's and order a salad.
Yes. These are the people who go to Chick-fil-A and try and order a Big Mac.
These are the people that eat at Raising Cane's.
These are Ohio State fans.
Fuck them.
These are Auburn fans, let's be honest.
And Penn State beat them.
Yes. So, well, Steve, we got 5 minutes till the NFL starts.
Yeah, is there any closing arguments, closing thoughts? Don't start Justin Fields.
Yeah, don't put hand the ball to David Montgomery. That's my closing thought.
Okay, real quick. I told somebody he worked with who to get faster? Chris Korfus?
Chris Korfus, yes.
Okay, so I told people the right thing.
Yeah, you did good, Steve.
Someone said he looks a lot faster, and I said, hold on, I know something. Like,
I know a guy who knows a guy.
They're talking about how fast he looks, so I raised my hand and I brought it up, and then I said something about, like, I say speed-based training, which I know is probably not the right thing, but I just say like this is kind of whatever.
I would say max velocity training.
I said that and somebody rolled their eyes and I was like,
I mean, I just retweeted a thing today about max velocity training and how it raises every sub-maximal speed.
it works because watching him play, he looks a lot faster.
And he still has better elusiveness and still doesn't get taken to the ground. He hasn't lost strength.
No, his legs are still massive.
I think the problem is, oh Jesus Christ, here we go. I'm going to end it on this. I think people don't understand that there is a strong enough category, and too many people are worried about gains, and then they forget that there's a strong enough category, right?
Right.
Like David Montgomery, super strong dude, but he has to change that to power to be able to express it as strength. And that's what happens. So,
well, Chicago, well, he looks faster.
Yes, he does.
And Matt Nagy needs to be fired. That'll be the last thing.
ScrewMattNagy.com. Check it out. Just
what
kidding.
Is it?
I said ScrewMattNagy.com. It's a facetious website, Steve. So you don't go there. You're smarter than that.
I would be afraid of what pops up.
We need to start that with Brad's burner account.
Yeah, so go check out Brad's new Twitter. It's going to be, what do we want it to be? At Raising Cane?
Brad Miller. At Raising Cane.
Yeah, his name is not Brad Miller, at Raising Cane. Go check him out on Twitter and his YouTube page. I'll create a YouTube page. I'm going to ruin Brad's life till he comes back on.
Yes.
This could be considered online bullying, but we're not. I don't know.
Nope, it's not. But I got to get off here, Steve.
All right. Blouses.
Signing out.